Episode 2 takes us deeper into Siberia and another detour north of Tyumen, this time to the region's most historic city, Tobolsk. The centerpiece of the town is of course another Kremlin, this stone-walled citadel probably the most eye-catching of them all, sitting perched high above the old town. And from the bell tower, views of the Siberian landscape that will repeat from here to the Arctic Ocean. Famous sons include Dmitry Mendeleev, who formulated the periodic table, and the town prison that held Dostoevsky captive on his way to exile further east. There is a medieval beer hall next to the Kremlin, but for some reason the footage of it is a bit messy for this documentary. It's a town with very tangible layers of the history of Russia, one of the best memories of the journey. The Trans-Siberian trains run on a pretty strict timetable. There's a scheduled amount of time at each stop, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 50, and believe me, you will want to get out whenever you can. Anything over 20 hours on the train and you'll be craving the fresh air. Make sure to ask the Provodnitsa how long the train is stopping for. If you come back even a few minutes late, the train will have left with all your stuff. And definitely make a note of the track your train is on, because all the trains look the same. If it's just a short stop, you could get off quickly for a souvenir or a snack and watch the activity along the track. It's usually full of people smoking in their pajamas. If you've got a bit more time, you can stretch your legs around the station and take in the views of the Siberian architecture. Most will head indoors to the bistro to find pirozhki or treat themselves to Russian pancakes, two foods not to be missed. Travelling across Siberia in winter is not the most popular time to do so, but it is the most authentic. Temperatures in early winter range from -10 to -30, and it only gets colder after that. It is quite the challenge even just doing the basics. I found it quite difficult to film for more than 30 seconds before my hands went numb. You'll find yourself ducking into cafes to escape the cold. The best thing to do is just copy the locals. Take things slow and wrap up well. Travelling the Trans-Siberian in winter will bring its rewards. Everything is cheaper in the off-season, you beat the crowds, and there's a certain beauty to winter, unlike any other season. As well as all of that, it's real, it's authentic. We have to remember where we are and what this place is famous for. I mean, what comes to mind when you hear the word Siberia? Before my Russian visa ran out, there was still time to visit the capital of Siberia, Novosibirsk, and to set up base camp in Irkutsk for expeditions to the Pearl of Siberia, Lake Baikal. Russia's third largest city with a population of 1.6 million, Novosibirsk feels much calmer than its capital of Siberia title would suggest. The centre is compact and full of green spaces for a stroll, as well as Russian and Georgian cuisine, just to forget those instant noodles for at least a while. The theatre and the ballet are always an option in Russian cities, as well as one of these, a god-awful Irish pub, serving probably the worst pint of Guinness this side of the Ural Mountains. No Luke Kelly or Christy Moore in this neck of the woods, just some traditional Irish, Slavic heavy metal. Jesus. The most popular stop on the Trans-Siberian Railroad is Irkutsk. Just 70 kilometers from the deepest lake in the world, Lake Baikal, the town will be your home for this part of the journey. For many travelers heading south to Mongolia or China like myself, this will be the last stop on the journey. And for people doing the trip in the opposite direction, it will be their first stop in Russia. So be sure to pass your wisdom on to them. Day trips by train to Baikal take you through the mountainous region surrounding the lake's western shores. Alighting at Sludyanka, you'll find yourself in a gritty railway town that will appeal to only the most ardent of train lovers. The train passes just along beside the shore of the lake, and in the high season there's hiking and guided tours to some abandoned mines, but in general, not much going on here. The more tourist-friendly Listvyanka has a lot more going on, fish restaurants and markets lining the shore. But once again, I found myself caught between two seasons. The jet skiing and diving of the summer were long finished, and the ice skating and lake trekking on top of the thick ice still a few weeks away. At the time on this trip, I longed for the high season. Halfway up the 636 kilometre long shoreline in the middle of the lake is Olkhon Island. An early start and a 5-hour minibus takes you to what seems like another world. Is a cosy one-horse town with about 1,500 people, and hard to believe this is still Russia. Dirt roads and darkness dominate the streets and make Moscow feel like a distant memory. Along the coast of Kuzhir, the signs of winter were beginning to appear.
It's amazing that it's actually just so quiet around here. Being beside such a large body of water, you would kind of expect crashing waves to be smacking up against the shore, but it's really quite serene. And it's hard to believe that this is going to be completely full of solid ice in just a number of weeks.
These ritual surge poles signify the presence of a shaman on Olkhon Island. The serenity and spiritual energy make it a sacred place for shamanism, the religion of the local Buryat tribe of the island. By far the best way to see the island is with the local Buryats. For a fair price, they will take you around for a day in a classic Soviet UAZ minivan. This was not one of the newest models, so it did not come with seatbelts, which made for a fairly bumpy ride. All things considered, it didn't matter all that much. These cliffs and waters are at least 25 million years old, making it the world's oldest lake and one of the clearest. At times you can see seals swimming 40 meters below the surface. If you were to fall in from here, you'd be sinking for 1.5 kilometers before you hit the bottom. So it's the world's deepest lake as well.
Мчатся барашки в ней, волна в их стаде бежит непокорным туда, где между крыш вода клонит камыш.
This serene and peaceful island marks the end of this Trans-Siberian journey. A month was definitely not long enough to go deeper under the skin of Russia. It's a diverse and complicated place, from west to east, where histories collide and the many different Russias are revealed along the way. No two journeys are ever the same. This is just another story from the Trans-Siberian Railway.